Okay, so getting ready to do a rectifier board, and I mean, this will probably be the same thing for all early SS, like as in probably 77 range, 78, when they quit doing EMs. Um, into early 80s, I'm not sure. I'm trying to think if Black Pyramid has one. It's like 85. But Bally Stern, this is your this is from Pinball Life. This is the solder in one. So you can see it just has holes all over the back marked focus. E8, E2, E7, E3, E11, E5, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on. So um, the solder ones are typically cheaper. I prefer solder in. I haven't had a problem with any of them. I've done the clip in, I've done this ones where you just put the wire in, tighten it down, it's done. Um, I have no problem with soldering, and the soldering ones are cheaper. So I just go with these. Like I said, this one's from Pinball Life, Bally Replacement Rectifier Board, AS2518-18. Um, so this is the one out of my Galaxy. Um, Everything works fine, no issues. Well, I can't say no issues. 99% of the time, it's fine. If I have a tournament for about an hour or so, the game will reset. I'm not sure exactly what that is, to be honest, because it happens so rarely. And then when it does happen, it's in the middle of a tournament, and it just resets. Or well, it freezes up. I go over there, turn it off, turn it back on, and it's fine until a couple months later at the next tournament. Um, so one thing I did notice is at the it has all new boards in it except the rectifier, and at the solenoid driver board we're at like 4.94, and then at the MPU we were at like 4.84, something like that. Then I repinned the solenoid driver board and the MPU for the 5 volts. Went ahead and repinned those, and it went from 4.94 at the solenoid driver board. We now have 4.93 at the MPU. So that's pretty much as good as that's going to get. Um, you add a couple connectors, some 4 feet of 45-year-old wiring. You're going to have a little bit of voltage drop. So I just figured this does have some charred marks. This is something you could easily just replace these headers, repin the connectors. No big deal. It works, but this is my wife's favorite game. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace the board. I'll keep this as a spare for a different game that needs it. Um, so no big deal. I'm just going to kind of eliminate this as a possibility of what's going on. And I do have a tournament here in a couple weeks. So after doing these little things, we'll see if it happens again. So couple things. Okay, so this is like 80 bucks, I think, somewhere 90 bucks, somewhere like that. Uh, so this is the main rectifier board that it comes with. And then it also comes with, grab the bag here because I grabbed some of this. It comes with 3 new connectors, which, obviously you need. So you'll have to install these the correct way. I will be doing that as well. Also comes with new standoffs. Comes with the keys. So the key will go inside the connector. So that way the connector has to line up with focus, like where you have that pin missing, pin missing, pin missing. That's where the key will go in the new connector. So always make sure you put those in, just for safety. You don't want to put these in the wrong spot. You'll start blowing stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and repin the connectors, obviously, because we got new ones. When I typically buy these in bulk, these long ones, I just find like the longest ones they sell, and I just buy a bunch of those because I figure, like, let's say this is a 20 pin. Well, if I cut this in one of these notches, I now have, let's say, a 10 pin and a 9 pin. So you can kind of just make your own. So I just do that. That way I don't have to worry about having 7s and 8s, 9s, 6s, and whatever. So I just buy all the long ones and trim them down. So we will be doing 3 new connectors. I have a bunch, but this comes with it, so that's great. It also comes with a bunch of the point 156 pins. I've done a separate video on how to actually crimp those on with the correct tool and repin a connector, so I'm not really going to go into detail about doing that. But it is on there. I'll make like a little how-to playlist. My TV just turned on. Okay. So I'm going to do a little playlist on how to, just like with the pinning connectors and stuff like that. I'm trying to turn down the TV. Oh yeah. Would help if I pointed at the sound bar, not the TV, I guess. There we go. So I'll add this. I'll add this to the playlist. I'll make a new playlist basically. And so right now, we need to take these 3 bolts out. These 3 bolts are going through the 3 rectifiers that actually connected to the backboard. So we need to take those out. Then you'll have your normal 4 push pins that kind of hold it into place. One thing I will go ahead and note right now, on this connector right here, you see how you have 3 pins, a blank spot, and then 4 pins. On this rectifier fits more than 1 game. So what I'm going to do is I am going to trim off, as you can see it has 3 pins, a blank spot, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have an extra. You could either, you know, put a bigger connector on there, or it may came with a bigger connector, but as you can see, this last pin we are not going to use. So you could either snip that off or leave it on there, use a smaller connector, you know, kind of do whatever you want to do. But just be aware that it doesn't look exactly the same, because you do have 1 extra pin right here on the far right. But your new connector, it'll be more like whenever you start doing the wiring, just don't start doing the wiring at the far right and then get over it and put your pin in the wrong place, your key in the wrong place. So make sure on J1 here, J1, you know, you're starting all the way here at the left, go all the way over, and you're not using that last pin. That's the only thing you just got to be careful of. So, but there we go. I'll go over that a little bit later. Right now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is, I took this out of the game. It was just 6 little screws I just undid. So what we have to do is take this off the board, flip it over, and we actually have the wires coming from the transformer. We'll have to unsolder those from the back of the board and solder those onto the new board. Luckily, what they do here is they give you a nice chart. Let me open it up here and show you. So on the chart, it gives you a good thing. It says like E1 red transformer lug 1. So that's just kind of giving you an idea, you know, what it does. The main thing you're going to go to is E1 red, yellow, red, you know, just kind of work your way down the line. On this one, looks like none of them match. Yeah, I don't see any match. Sometimes I've seen where here you can see up the top, it says 18 gauge, fatter wire, 20 gauge is skinnier. So here they're not even mentioning, yeah, they're not even mentioning for this game, you know, what's what, I think. Let's really double check all your work. Same games only have 8 pins, at J1. That's what I just went over. So that's all fine. But yeah, I've had games where you had 2 different sets of reds, and like one red was fat, which is 18. Smaller is bigger when it comes to wire gauge. AWG is American wire gauge. And then 20 gauge is the skinny. So you had to make sure you were putting the skinny red one where the skinny one goes and the fat one where the fat one goes. It was pretty obvious. So if I get to that point and I see that, I will stop and do more of this video. But for now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove that. Just kind of get my workspace kind of set up here, and I will start soldering on the new board. If I don't have any little tips or anything, then when this video restarts here in 30 seconds for you, I will already have the new board soldered into place. We'll go ahead and make that the first section. So 10 minutes already anyway. So Okay, see you in a second. Bye. Okay, so I thought I'd just throw this out there. So what I end up doing, you have these holes on here where it says E4, E1, E12, E10, all that stuff. Go through with your solder and basically fill in all those holes. Um, so that way, whenever it comes time to do the wire, you can do this multiple different ways. This is just the way I do it. Um, and then, so I'd already, taken this off the board. So I'm going to strip those wires all back a little bit. And then once I strip those back a little bit, I will basically the bare wire that's showing, I will put solder. They call it tinning the wire. Go ahead and put a little bit of solder on the end of each wire, let it soak in a little bit. And then whenever it comes time to put it in the hole, put your soldering iron on the hole and then just stick the wire a little bit into the hole, pull your soldering iron away, let it cool off. It's stuck in the hole. So do it that way. Another thing is, I did notice, I didn't go over it on the chart. On the picture there, they basically show, if you look at it closely, you can see like E4. It's not going to focus there, but E4, you can kind of see that's white with a red stripe. Then the one next to it is a big red one. So then you have the yellow, blue, so you can kind of just go through. There we go. You can kind of just look at the picture and make the pictures match the wires if you want to, but you also have the chart if you just want to double check what it's trying to tell you. So there we go. I'm going to trim these wires back a little bit, tin them, and then start sticking them in the holes. Okay, so it's only been about 5 minutes maybe. So as you can see here, I've already got this wired up. I did trim some of the wires. This is how it goes like that. So some of the wires I trim a little bit, just get rid of the extra slack, just kind of keep everything nice and just in a good order. So let me back up here a little bit. So that way whenever I turn it, this one-handed here. So turn it. Now I can put it up there on the pedestal there, snap it in. This one will not bolt down. It will only just use the plastic snap ins. But there we go. And then just make sure that your picture, wiring colors, everything, just looks basically like that. Pretty simple. So I'm going to put this on the board. I'm going to put this, go ahead and put it back in the machine. And then I will start doing the connectors. Okay, so I went ahead, got the board put back in here. To line it up, really I just found the most accurate thing, and I just found where the plunger was hitting the mark on the wall. Backing this all up, unfortunately, yeah, it's a little stained. 47 years old, something like that. But it's all structurally sound. There's nothing wrong with it here. Tighten this up. That was a little loose. So what I did now was I undid the couple of clips, because this is the harness right here that I need to repin, because I'm going to put new connectors on it. Also, one of the connectors didn't match. It was one of the kind that's like splits the insulation. I'm used to that from like 90s Williams that I've had to work on, like Pinbot and Fishtails and stuff. But a lot of people prefer those, whatever. We are going to stick with the 157, just normal, forget what they call them. There's a better name for these kind that come with, because there's like, I can't think of it. There's like ribs on the back of the, I'm not going to be able to show it to you, but there's ribs on here to where it grabs it on more than just one side. It grabs it on every side of the pin. So here you go. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, because you can see a couple of those little pins are a little burnt, a little crispy. Those are the rectifiers that can go out occasionally. You can just unsolder those. This, as you see, it has some jumper wires on here. So this one's been worked on before. But yeah, sometimes they have bigger ones that you can put on, and everybody tends to upgrade them a little bit. So looks like this one's kind of, I'll save it for another game if I need it. But, it's done its job. It's been good. We'll move on. So luckily what I can do here is, with the harness all loose, I can just kind of hang out and have it hanging out the coin door here. And I'll bring my chair over here in front of the game. The only one that's going to be a little bit short to repin will be this one, which, yeah, there's the key installed right there. So third from the right. So this would actually go this way. Actually, nope, it was this way. Yeah, sorry. The pin side that you can see. That side you can't see the pin. Pin side up. So yeah, third one goes, and that's why you key it, because right there I just almost tried to put it in the wrong spot. So, but it wouldn't let me. So, but there you go, pin side up, and then we'll get these just these three connectors repinned and turn it on. Make sure everything is voltage. Some, I don't think this one does. Yeah, I don't see them. Some rectifier boards that you buy where they clip in, um, which, I mean, this could be a good thing for you. Um, you can justify this and why they cost more. They actually put a little LED, like a green LED, under all the fuses. So if the green LED is not on, it's blown. So, little good idea. It's a good, quick thing for troubleshooting. You can just glance at them. But I don't think this one has the LEDs. So, oh well. One of mine here does. Or I might have just put that in the 8 ball that I just sold. Oh well. So, yeah, give me a couple minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and repin these three connectors real quick. Probably take me 10 minutes. It's not that hard. So just go one pin at a time. Take pictures before you start, because you always double guess yourself. But take pictures of every connector, then start, and then just do one wire at a time. So there you go. USA 115 volt, 106. I don't know what that means. Probably maybe something to do with the serial number. I don't know. I wonder if this one has a. I don't feel it. I was wondering. I know on some Bally's and stuff they used to put serial numbers on the side of the cab. Yeah. There you go. Can I see the serial number? So, but there you go. I will repin these two connectors and we'll go for there. I'll check for voltage, just make sure it all works, see what happens. Okay, so about to start on this. I just took pictures of everything. I went ahead, you line up these two connectors, and you can see I got the two keys in place. So what I'll actually have to do, I'm not going to depin this, no reason to. I'm just going to snip the wire off right there, right up against the header, maybe enough to where the color is still there, to where if I need to look back instead of looking at a picture, leave like a 1/16 of an inch of green there, and then just repin it, put it straight in the next connector, and just work my way down. Okay, so just got these three connectors replaced. I haven't put any zip ties on there or anything yet, but looking at the clock, that took about half an hour, maybe 35 minutes to get that all done, and I just have the wire straight back in there. So let me get the back glass out. We'll turn it on and see what our voltages are at. Okay, so just going through here and checking my voltages. Right there, you can see I got a 5 volt test point. This was 4.94. Was the best I got before. I can't look at my camera and do this. Okay, now I'm at 4.96. So I did go up a little bit. So you can tell I had probably just, again, dirty pins. Didn't go up much, but did go up a hair. And then over at the MPU, basically the same thing. I was at 4.93. It went up to 4.94. So again, did go up a hair, not a lot. Um, not sure that was ever my problem. I don't know. It could be firmware on the Weebly MPU. I don't know. But I have a tournament here in a couple of weeks, so we will see changes. I guess I don't need that. I'll leave it in there. I used to have all my games on 5 ball, and then I would change them for tournaments. I put everything back on 3 ball. So I just had all these little reference, sticky notes in here, so that way I could just look at that, change the one pin. But now, last several months, I've just been leaving everything on 3 ball. Just play better, right? So anyway, that's going to be it for installing the rectifier board. Um, oh, One thing I was gonna say, look, I don't find somebody else better than me. um, on the rectifier board, I only plugged in one plug. Then I checked a bunch of voltages. Then I plugged. I think I left in the top right. And I checked some of the voltages. Then I plugged the other two in. Then you can come up here and disconnect the other boards and just have the solenoid driver board on. Turn it on, let that board power up, and just see if it has the right voltages. Just be safe. Um, don't blow anything up and try to blame it on me. Um, so anyway, there you go. There's a little quick rectifier board install, and overall, yeah, it probably took me a little over an hour. So I vacuumed out the inside of the cab. It was kind of dirty. I took the board out instead of doing it in the cab because I just wanted to be more comfortable. You've heard me complain about my back, so it's not fun just to be bent over into the cab. I can stand here and work on them, but in the cab sucks. So I just take it out and do it outside the cab. So, um, side note: this game does have 7-digit displays with the Weebly. I just had to add one wire right there, and that wire comes down inside the harness, comes to display one, jumps down, and it doesn't really matter what order you do it in because it's um, basically it's in parallel. So because you just had the green wire goes into right there, whichever pin that is, 11 or something. Then it goes down to 11 on that one, not that one. That's a credit display. 11, 11, you're done, and now you have 7-digit displays. So it's actually marked on the Weebly on the other side. It's marked 7th digit. So and then you got to just change the code for 7th digit. They have a Meteor code. Well, not Meteor. Meteor Meteor is 100% the exact same way, but this is a Stern. So this this is a Galaxy. So yeah, I just got to set it for the code for 7-digit Meteor just Galaxy displays. Crap. I originally did that on a Meteor. That's why I keep saying it. So there you go. There's a rectifier board installed. See ya.